Hey y'all, I'm back, and I always notice that my tongue is orange. I drink turmeric in my tea, turmeric and ginger. It's for my aches and pains, especially my knee. So don't pay my orange tongue no mind. But I'm back, and we are on Psalms 23. We're going to do 23 and 24 because they're short. So let's get started. A Psalm of David. Oh, this is my favorite because when I was a little girl, I lived in Broadhead Manor was the projects. And they had the thing down at the Salvation Army, which was also the church. And we had the thing called the Sunbeams. It's for little girls. And we had to remember this, and I could never remember it totally, but my sister did. And when she did, she got a little patch or whatever you call it. And I was so mad, and then we moved, and I never could get one. I was so mad about that. I wanted that patch so bad. Little girls. So anyway, let's get started. Here it goes. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yeah, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, thy comfort me. They comfort me. Sorry. That's probably why I didn't get my patch. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup remaineth. No. Oh, I'm sorry. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That's Psalm 23. Now, y'all see why I didn't get my patch, because I kept messing up. But Psalm 24, a Psalm of David. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord, or who shall stand in his holy place? He that has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive the blessing from the Lord and righteousness from God of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob. Salah. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lift up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, even lift them up, ye everlasting doors, and the kings of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. Salah. Okay, that is the end of chapter 23 and 24. What the heck? Remember, let me tell you, this last one I just wrote 24. I am trying my best to be righteous. I am trying to do my best. It is hard when you've been out in this world for so long. I am 62 years old. And yes, some of you say, ooh, you look older than that. Yes, that's okay because I'm aging gracefully without shots and whatever. I'm aging the way God said so. But anyway, I am trying my best to do right. And that's all we can do is do our best. I mean, we got to follow the Lord commandments, laws, and statutes to the best of our ability. And it's going to be a hard road, but it's going to be a righteous road and I'm telling you, a fulfilling road. Because I'm telling you, I have been through so much lately. Let me tell you, you have heathens out there. You have heathens in your home, within your family. And 3 or 4 weeks ago, my 26-year-old son. I wasn't going to tell this story, but since the police don't seem to be doing anything about it, because his father's a sergeant on the police force, his aunt's a lieutenant on the police force, and at the station of the people who came and took the report. And I used to be a police officer, but I only stayed on for 5 years. It just wasn't for me. I was a good cop, but it still wasn't for me. And, but a few weeks ago, my son, 26-year-old son, my youngest son, he beat me up. Now, let me tell you the story. And I even have a recording of it. You can't see him beating me up, but you can hear everything that's being said and me screaming my head off. But so instead of him getting tried in a court of law, he's gonna get tried in a court of TikTok or YouTube. But anyway, he was moved. We hadn't been speaking for a while because of the little boy, his girlfriend's little boy. He's putting his hands on my granddaughter. Now he's 6, and y'all be like, "Oh, well, he's only 6." And she's 1. Remember how you were when you were 6? Little sneaky little boogers we were. But she was only 1, and he's 6. So you can imagine 5 years apart, a 1-year-old and a 6-year-old. And this is the second time I've seen him doing something. First, he dragged her across the street, and his mother was sitting right there. I'm sitting in my window. I live across the street from where they used to live. They moved recently. I live across the street, so I sit in my window while I'm doing my crafts. And he's dragging my granddaughter on the street, and she's sitting right there. And when my granddaughter started crying, she said, "Shut up, Thina." No, that's when I jumped up out of my chair. I went outside. I was like, "Hey!" She pretended like she didn't see nothing was going on. She didn't realize I was in the window. You can't see in my house in the daylight when I'm sitting in the window, but you can see at night. So this was daylight. And she's like, "Hey, don't do that." And the little boy said, not right at that moment, but I went down the steps. And I went in the house and I told my son what was going on. He said, "Okay, I'll talk to her and find out what's going on." I said, "I just told you what's going on." But he's always high. You know, he smoked weed all day. So I come back outside, and I said, "That's a shame what you did." And then the little boy said to his mama, "You told me to do it." And she tried to pretend like he wasn't talking about him dragging her across the street. She said, "I didn't tell you to squirt that gun." He had a squirt gun. And no, it was not what that little boy was talking about. So, and it bothered me all night because that little boy and my granddaughter is living in the same house. They ain't got the same mother. And, you know, her mother is being fooled like I don't know what, because this woman, this woman is something else, I'm telling you. She is the evil coordinator, I'm telling you. But anyway, so it bothered me all night because I'm like, this little boy can be hurting her, you know, because they allow him to do it. And my son's so high, he don't see what's going on to his own child. And so I told my son the next day when he brought her over to me, because I babysat while he went to work. And I said, "It's really bothering me." I said, "Because of what I seen yesterday, what I told you." And the stupid thing that came out of his mouth was, "Mom, I want you to trust me, that I trust her to watch my child." I just told you what happened. How do you trust her? And so I said, "Okay," because there's nothing I can do. So the next time, me and the little boy and the little girl and my granddaughter and my son, we all was outside. Now his mother was on the porch with some other black guy. Now his mother's white. I know that don't matter, but to me it does. Okay, so she's on the porch with some other guy talking to him. And we're on the side of the house playing with the ball. And Thanie, my granddaughter, she wanted the ball that me and the little boy was playing with. We was throwing the ball back and forth. I was throwing the ball to him. He was hitting it with the bat. So Deanie kept taking the ball because she wanted that ball. She wanted another ball. She wanted that ball. And I let him go ahead and get it from her. And he would take the ball back, and she would fuss, and we tried to give her the other ball. So then I wasn't playing with him no more. I was playing with Deanie, and my son was playing with him. And she kept taking the ball. So my son told the little boy, let her have that ball. We'll play with this one. So I knew that wasn't going to fly over with that little boy. I'm standing there looking at him. I don't know what my son was doing, but I was standing there looking at him, watching him. And he was just standing there. His face would just get madder and madder because he wanted that ball. So he got mad. He took his arm and cuffed it like this. And my granddaughter was standing up a little ways, and her back was toward him. And he started running. I seen what he was getting ready to do. And I'm hollering, no! And he grabbed her by the back of her neck and pulled her down real hard. Now, he plays Dragon Ball Z and whatever else he plays on them video games. So maybe that's where he got it from. But, oh, you know what? Y'all have a blessed day. Remember to always ask God for understanding of anything I just read. I read yesterday and that I will read tomorrow.